It really feels like Nate gave you everything you wanted in a little bit tonight. I know he was kind of fading a little bit late there, but how would you kind of assess his performance and how deep he worked in the ball game?
Yeah, dominant, and you're starting to see just his growth. You know, it's the breaking ball, it's the command, the composure. Even though he's still working on that piece, he gets excited out there pitching, but he's just just getting better every day, and it's starting to become a 4-pitch mix, which is what a starter needs.
Danny?
Coach, how satisfying is it to come out and play a game like this today?
Yeah, it was
this morning.
a complete game. I thought it was pretty complete. Probably could have drove in a run here or there, but we do hit a lot of hard balls at him tonight. I felt like we played a little Adam ball. And we had a couple drop too, but I like our effort. That's the biggest thing. We seemed excited to play, and when you're not hitting, sometimes that's hard. So they came out and gave a great effort.
Steph?
Sure, there was some frustration there in the middle innings, offensively, but then, to kind of get some assurance when they're 7th and the 8th, just how big was that, especially for a guy like Dakota to get that extra base hit?
Yeah, it was big for Dakota to get that big RBI swing. I thought Mercer's at bat was huge. That's the one we haven't kind of got in lately. It kind of takes the pressure off of everybody else. And having him and Kohler back tonight were big in that. Just having the two lefties for us is huge. So,
Benjamin?
Yeah, I was going to ask about Merson and Kohler being back in the lineup. You got 3 hits for Logan and 3 productive at-bats there for David. Just what's it mean to have that back in there? You can play a little bit of matchups.
It's great. Well, it helps. I mean, just when you have so many righties in your lineup and then you don't have as much depth at the end of your lineup, the last couple of days, those guys being in there. And they're just gritty, hard-nosed ball players. They bring a lot to the table when they play. And Mercer's still working back. I mean, defensively trying to get on the field, but I thought he gave a great effort tonight.
Doug?
Coach, the 2 runs in the 8th there, I guess technically prevented a save, but with Black and with Auger, it sure felt like somebody deserved.
Yeah, they pitched really well. Black, that's 2 good outings for Black and 2 good for Brooks. So. Happy with those guys there at the end of the game, and the start was so big for us tonight because we were a little short, of arms because of playing Tuesday, Wednesday, and those games getting drawn out. Those 2 guys really helped there.
Steve?
Production of the 9-hole tonight too. I know Dylan 3 hits now on the week, but big one there early on with the bases loaded, and then a couple nice bunts later. How would you kind of assess his performance at the plate?
It's good to see him relax a little bit. This first week he's been I keep giving him a hard time, take a breath. He's a special player. I mean, you see it defensively, but he's got a real chance to hit, So I think you'll see a little bit more of that as time comes. And I'm using the bunts just to acclimate him, just get up there, have positive at-bats. Y'all know me, I probably don't bunt enough, or I bunt too much tonight, I feel like. So, but right now we need it. We just need that extra base. I feel like we've been coming up a base short. So getting a guy to move somebody over is huge. And it's positive. It gives Dylan a positive at bat.
Grace?
Nate just always looks so locked in. I mean, what kind of confidence did you see from him tonight?
He was locked in. He's like psycho locked in. So he's a competitor. And like I said, he's been working really hard. His stuff is just growing. And I think it was a lot better than it was last week. And I didn't think it was bad at all last week, but I just think his off speed is the big key. Because once he's throwing his off speed, you can't sit on his fastball, and that's the biggest deal.
Jack?
Johnny seems to have a really good rapport with his pitching staff. What do you like about him back there, and how much of an impact has he made on y'all just going out there, 15 Ks, 1 walk tonight?
Johnny Long is a special dude. So he actually gave a speech to the team today. So he is just a pretty neat guy. Players only. So I don't know what he said, but he fired him up. And he's only been here, 6 months, 7 months, and probably one of the heart and soul guys of our ball club. It's just it says a lot about his character.
Steph?
How important is it to have a guy like that after a start that you guys wanted a few more wins there to start?
Yeah, I mean it's baseball. I mean, unfortunately in our sport, we played 5 in the first 6 days, and so and we didn't like the results we got in a couple of them, but you just got to keep playing. I mean, baseball's a different game than a lot of the others, and you kind of go like this a little bit. And unfortunately, we started a little down with our offense, but tonight was a big step forward.
Steve?
Looking forward to tomorrow. I mean, I know obviously you want to get the win, but it just seems like a different air in the building. I mean, you're kind of coming to the ballpark tomorrow. I mean, what do you expect from your club?
To play with the same energy they played tonight. That's been the big challenge. I told them after the game, even though I thought we played really well, I like how we played better than just the execution of the swing and everything else. Our energy was really good, and there was, I thought that Dakota and Hunter were really good tonight in a lot of ways, and They made great defensive plays, and especially when you're not getting the hit all the time, they stayed really locked in with the ball club.
Steph?
That sequence there, in the 7th and the 8th, did Nate want to stay in and finish the inning?
Oh yeah, so it's so early in the year, and he didn't get far enough last week because he pitched so well. We kind of said it before the inning, hey, let's get him to 90, and that's kind of where we were trying to get to. And that at bat with White, it took a couple extra pitches, and so that was the only thing. But I like the competitive side of him, and now he'll be able to get to 90, 95 to 100 and be there the rest of the year. But we got a short week the next week. We haven't decided what we're doing pitching wise there, but you just hate to overextend.
How big was it for Gavin, after that home run, the way he flushed that and finished that inning and gave you a good 8th?
It cost the pitchers BP. You throw a shutout, you get BP, and Gavin, he threw the guy a cookie there. He hung a breaking ball, so everybody's giving him a hard time. But he's pitching really well. I mean, it's a really, really good slider. That's why, that's why we call it there, because he just didn't bear it. He hung it.
Nate, we'll start with you. Coach talking about you're almost psycho locked in tonight. It really felt like you were pitching with an edge. How did you feel tonight? I know it certainly seemed like you had more than your fastball working tonight.
Yeah, I think tonight just kind of came from the work I was putting in this week with Coach Parker and kind of the emphasis of having a little bit better direction towards the plate. I think some results were shown tonight, and I think just keep building off of that and keep learning and getting better every day. It's just going to keep coming.
Steph?
Both of y'all, your coach talked about players only meeting and Johnny, having a big part in what was said, I guess. Well, how big is it to have a guy like that kind of steps up and wants to speak up, when you get a start that you wish, would have gone better?
I think it's huge for us as a team to have an older presence and a guy who's been around the game a long time and understands a lot and has been through a lot. So I think what he talked about was just very big for us as a group and really helped us come together.
Steph?
Nate, for you there, in the 7th, how much did you want to stay in and finish that inning? How tough is that to have to come out?
Yeah, I mean, in the moment it's definitely tough, but then you realize, I had a higher pitch count. It's early in the year. Pass it off to the next guy and let him get the job done. I think we have a complete confidence with anyone who comes in the game there. So you want to stay in, but you also understand that the guys coming in are going to get the job done as well.
Steve?
Look, maybe take us through this last week. I mean, what's it been like having to be away and then obviously you come in and get 3 nice rips today?
3 rips as in hits?
Hits, yeah.
I only had 1 today.
I guess I'm thinking about the 2-stack bunch too.
Yes, sir.
So take me through that opportunity today to kind of get in there. You've had 3 hits, I know, in the week now, and of course a couple nice plays today. So just take me through the week for you.
Well, I think we're going to have our ups and downs, and I'm not really focused on myself, to be honest. I'm more focused on us as a team improving no matter if we're winning or losing. And, my at-bats, I'm not going to lie, I kind of forgot about him because that's not important to me. To me, what's important is this guy and getting him through every 7 innings every single game because that's my focus. And, I'm going to keep competing and keep trying my best and doing everything I can for my teammates. And we're just going to keep getting this thing rolling.
Benjamin?
Yeah, I mean, most of those strikeouts early were coming on the fastball, and Coach was talking about, really getting that next level will be getting the off-speed stuff to play off of that way. What do you feel like was working? Do you feel like you had those off-speed stuff going too?
Yeah, I think the ability to use the fastball doesn't just come from having a good fastball or throwing good fastballs. It comes from the ability to use off speed and kind of throw off their approach and throw off what they think is coming. And so that kind of frees up the fastball. I think that last week I had some issues there, just not being able to get off speed where I wanted it. And so that was a huge focus this week on just getting better with that, getting better every day, and making sure that this week that stuff would be there.
Doug?
Nate, I know at one point I looked and you were like 49 and 18 strikes and balls, and I didn't look at the final on 93, but as you're throwing more strikes, there's more opportunity for the batters to hit it. But how does that compare when you have the confidence, you're going up there and you're throwing strikes, but you still have confidence you're going to get those batters out?
Yeah, I think part of that is just having a great defense behind you and trusting those guys and believing that they're going to get those outs when you give up good contact, especially like they play Dakota made in right field. It's just stuff like that. You know that the guys behind you are going to be able to make plays no matter what.
Steph.
For either of you guys, I guess just how big, is this weekend, after the 2-3 start at home to, get wins at home and kind of, start to get some momentum as you go into March?
It's huge. I think that we just got to take it game by game, and our focus is tomorrow, and we're going to keep competing, and we're going to keep building, and whatever the outcome is tomorrow, we're going to keep building no matter what happens. And I think that that's how we're going to roll all year. A lot of us talk about riding the wave and staying, composed, but I believe that we just got to keep building no matter what happens, and that's our focus. I feel like at the beginning we've been pressing to win, which has been our, I guess you could say, our problem. And I think it suffocated us, and today we played for each other, and that's why the outcome happened, and that's why it's going to continue to happen.
Steve.
You follow up on that too. I mean, you guys seem to play a little more relaxed today. It was apparent, I think, to everybody in the ball yard, and maybe just getting a couple runs early. But what do you kind of attribute that to? When you guys are loose, you play fast, right?
Yeah, I think, and I kind of hit on it in the team meeting. We were trying so hard to win, and that was taking our bat out of our hands. And instead of focusing on our at bats, we were focusing on putting our hitters or putting the pitchers in the best situations they could possibly be in. And I think we're going to keep doing that throughout the year, and we're going to keep focusing on just being a better teammate. And if that keeps happening, I think we're going to have a lot of success.